Hey everyone, I'm Alexander Jasper-Jay, and I am really disappointed in myself, so don't worry, you don't have to lecture me about this. I know. Believe me, I know. Oh my god. Okay, so today I'm going to be telling you the story of how I dated my boss. I hate myself a little bit. Two things you should know, well, three things you should know before I dive into the story too much. So one, I had actually worked for this company before when I was 16 as a sales rep, but when I was 21, I was rehired as an RA, which is essentially a receptionist. Two, I didn't start dating my boss while working there. I was dating my girlfriend and then she became my boss when I was hired. Three, this girl is Lucy. So in 2016, I was really strapped for cash. I was just coming off of top surgery. I had to start paying for my own transportation from work, home to work. I also had to start paying for my own phone bill, and this all just kind of cascaded all at once. I was stressing out, I was freaking out. It was not a good situation. And Lucy, who was my girlfriend at the time, saw that I was stressing out and offered up a solution on a silver platter, which seemed as if it were an excellent idea. She was going to get me a job at her office. At the time, I was thinking, this is the most thoughtful person. Oh my god, I can't believe this. This is amazing. I did not understand how that would affect the power dynamic of our relationship, and I didn't understand how it would essentially wind up cannibalizing our relationship. So I did have a leg up when it came to getting hired, because I did have inside information from Lucy that the phone call that you made to inquire about the job actually counted as your application. Beforehand, I wrote out a script and practiced it about 20 times, and then I called, but during the call I messed up twice, and I convinced myself that it was done. I was over, I wasn't gonna get this job. It turns out Lucy also thought that I was done at that point. She didn't want to give me this job until her boss actually told her that if she didn't, she'd be making a huge mistake. It's worth mentioning that her boss was not aware of our relationship at all. In fact, Lucy made me block him on Facebook so he couldn't investigate into our relationship. He had no idea, and I wasn't allowed to tell him. I suggested maybe having me sign a waiver so that I couldn't file for sexual harassment or anything, and that was just straight up refused. I think Lucy was scared that she would get in trouble if this was even something that was posed, but there was no policy within the company against inter-office relationships because it is a very kind of really sketchy company in the first place. During the interview itself, it was just me and Lucy in the office. Everybody else had gone home, and I was really trying to keep it more of a professional interview, but it very quickly just degraded into dirty jokes, and I am so disappointed in myself. I wound up getting the job 100% because I was dating her. Okay. So, I wasn't actually bad at the job by any means. In fact, our office was actually doing really well in the standings. I made the company newsletter a couple of times because of my numbers. I wasn't doing bad, but I wasn't up to her standard. And because I wasn't up to her standard, that started really affecting our relationship to a degree. So at the time I was working at this office, I was also working another job, and they were on opposite ends of the city, and I felt myself getting stretched way too thin, and I started getting really sick. Because I was sick, I was prescribed some medicine, and this medicine made me a little bit loopy. On my way into the office one day, I started experiencing some symptoms, and I decided I was going to take a pill. I started feeling a little bit loopy, so I called ahead to let my boss know what was going on, because in my professional life, that is what you do. You just inform your boss of anything that can affect your work performance. Okay. But during this call, I was yelled at for 20 minutes, not by my boss, but by my girlfriend, and being told how much of a disappointment I was, which was not fun. I was done. Like, I could not deal with the rest of that day. So our work relationship, our personal relationship, everything really just imploded. There was nothing left to salvage. I was never fired and I never quit this job. The office just kind of wound up closing because the boss, like one of the bosses, wound up moving across the country and the other one wasn't capable of running the office by herself. So Lucy was freaking out, and that added a bunch of stress to her life, that added stress to my life, and just there was stress all around and nobody knew what to do. So the office closed, and I was told that I would always have a reference. I burned that bridge so hard. So I discovered the fact that Lucy was pregnant with clearly not my baby, but you know, that's a story for another day. Peace out, Scout people. I shall see you soon. Bye. You don't have to lecture me about this. I know. Believe me, I know.